Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
Welcome to the Not Watching Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Bruce
and Marcus Hurley.
We're also joined by
Will. Hello, I'm Will. Nice to meet you.
So, it was the Game of Thrones finale last night, and I take it we've all seen it.
Shit, I missed it.
I don't know what happened.
You don't know what happened?
No. I watched the programme and I felt all tingly in my nevers.
You just sort of zoned out.
I sort of had an accident whilst watching the programme on TV. I'm not quite sure whether this is the place to admit it, but, you know.
Yeah.
It was that damn good.
Well, yeah, I was round at John's and we watched the episode 6 again first before that. So I've watched that episode 3 times now. Absolutely didn't watch the leak, of course. I've got many friends that have, but yeah, it's been a bit leaky this season, hasn't it? They've really been getting intercepted by the hackers,
Or they've been exploiting marketing. One of the two.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rather cynical.
Well, the accidentally releasing one of your episodes on the streaming service, I'm sure that was an accident. Absolutely an accident.
Possibly. At the end of the day, I don't... Okay, they got a little bit more in the news, but it's constantly talked about anyway. You've got to wonder if the marketing guys need to lift a finger for this thing.
Well, maybe HBO are going, yeah, but we're not really sure your future stuff's going to pay off. Can you just let us know
knows?
what... Yeah, I mean, it's all... We don't know, do we?
All I will say is I thoroughly enjoyed seeing that smug smile dropped off Littlefinger's face. That was a magic
Indeed.
moment.
That was beautiful.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's had it coming for some time.
But the way they did it, because I did not see it coming. I saw it coming as much as he did. I thought Sansa was being an absolute twat, and I really thought she was being manipulated, and then it suddenly spun. That was magnificent.
Yeah, there were a few. I heard a bit of noise about like, oh yeah, they're plotting something, but I didn't really. To be honest, I wasn't really paying too much attention to what was going on there. I was kind of more taken in with all the Daenerys and Jon Snow stuff, so I didn't really think about it too much. But it was cool when it happened.
Fair enough. Yep.
Yeah, the incest.
I sat there and I couldn't help myself, but immediately running through my head as Jon Snow knocks on the door was a modification from South Park the movie. I was just, shut your fucking face, auntie fucker. And it was just running through my head the entire scene. I was watching that at work this morning, actually, because I finished my commute before Game of Thrones had finished, watching it on the tablet. So I spent the first 5 minutes at work watching Game of Thrones.
Awesome.
And, yeah,
It was a long old episode.
it was a beast.
Yeah, but yeah, no more till 2019 now apparently,
Great.
because it's
That's
going to
right.
take so long. Well, I think if this season has been anything to go by, you know, they're going to have to pull out the stops even more to deal with what's coming.
So will Cersei have a toddler?
I don't know really,
Yeah, that's
because
a
the
long
time
old pregnancy, that is.
it'll be. Well, the thing is though, they have advanced time quite a lot, and she is like noticeably pregnant at the end of this season. So yeah, quite possibly, I would imagine. Yeah.
I'd say noticeably, but she was putting a hand on her stomach. No, she was just showing signs that Tyrion picked up on. Was it Tyrion picked up on it?
Yeah.
I don't think
I think I'm more noticeably pregnant than she is.
To be honest,
Probably a big lump.
the licenses, the license they've been taking with the timeline of the show this season, I think there could very easily be a child.
Turbo Ravens,
by the time we see it.
yay! Basically, everybody's unlocked fast travel. That's the best thing you can say about it.
To be honest, most
Yeah,
people,
pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Which isn't a problem. Come on. I mean, I'm thinking, if that's your issue after all the things you've seen, you know...
Yeah. It's
Come
got
on.
fucking
Yeah.
dragons and
Context
the undead in it.
They're saying
time a little. Jesus.
they're saying
It's like when people are complaining about, oh, how did they get the chains? It's like, what, to hoist the fucking undead dragon out?
Yeah.
The
and then
dragon
bring it back to
chains
life.
were annoying. The dragon chains were annoying.
yeah, but the thing is, did you see what was behind that bit of rock they were all hiding behind? No.
Lots
I
of
could have hidden
chains
some
and
chains
divers.
To be honest, they probably brought dragon chains with them. It's like when the missus packs to go camping.
Yeah.
Just the
Absolutely.
shit that goes
Yeah.
in the boot.
Well,
Planning ahead.
bearing in mind, it was his big plan. Of course, he would have prepped for it. You know, he seems the kind of level-headed chap that goes out to the work lot, has all of the right tools in the right orders, numbered, labelled, with little outlines of where to put them.
That's it. You know, it will probably land on this massive, expansive ground, but there's a good chance it will go through the ice. So I will bring my dragon chains.
Well,
Yeah.
to be honest, people have been saying that they had loads of giants with them with chains and stuff, and we saw like oversized chains before. Plus, there was meant to be like a harbour or somewhere near there, or an ex-harbour. So who knows what was about there? So
Dragon
chains.
chains.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it's worth worrying about too much.
yeah. I don't know why they're called dragon chains, because they just look like chains to me. They just
Yeah, but
happen
they
to
were
attach-
dragon.
that's-
If they were attached to a Mini Cooper, would they be Mini Cooper chains? I mean,
You're getting it now. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Cool.
Maybe they were originally going to use those to pull the wall down, and then they were like, no, got a better idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
next question. What? So alive dragons breathe fire. Song of Ice and Fire, the fire on that side. So dead dragons breathe.
Blue flame.
It looked like
It
looked
was,
like blue
it
flames
was
to me.
turbocharged
Like,
flame.
Right, so
Which is-
that was flame, was it? So
Yeah.
dead dragons are hotter.
We're talking about dragons like there's a plot hole we need to justify there. It's a flying fucking lizard with a
To be
Night
honest-
King on the back of
To
it.
be honest,
How
I'm
does it
pretty
fly
sweet
with
Jesus.
holes in its wings? Did you notice the big holes in its
Yeah.
wings?
How does it?
Yeah,
how does it
well,
breathe
you know, it's
fire
got
when
a-
he can't say Dracarys. You know, these are all things that aren't going to be answered.
Exactly. It hasn't breathed fire when it's dead.
I might,
Do you know?
And also,
Might have
how
to
did the
write
other
an essay on
dragons,
that.
when she was burning the zombies the week before, how did they fire when she wasn't saying to them, "Oi, buddy, Dracarys"?
well, sometimes I say to my dog, sit, and he sits. Sometimes I say, don't say anything, and he still sits.
Right. But,
Yeah,
but when
they've-
he has a poo or pukes something up, it's always the same, right? It's always
That's when I say Dracarys, yeah.
okay, right, okay.
And something comes out the front.
Maybe
yeah,
the-
no. So there's been a lot of bleating about various plot holes and stuff, and the speed of the show. But I've really enjoyed it. I found it enormously gratifying watching all the things go. I was seriously thinking that a Lannister might be on the chopping block
Yeah.
in the finale. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I was expecting
Even though they
Cersei
have-
to get a knife from Jamie, but he just
yeah, or
left
the
her.
wine to be poisoned or something.
There's still
Like,
time for that, I think.
Yeah.
I was worried about Tyrion when he was pouring himself that glass. I thought maybe
Yeah.
she lured him in, knew that he would come and speak to her, and then just to poetically kill him off the same way her son did. That's why I
Yeah,
thought he was going. Because
By
when
the
he
end
put
of
the
next
glass,
season.
when he put the glass on the table and she didn't drink from it, I was like, ooh. But then I forgot she was pregnant, so maybe that's why she wasn't drinking wine.
It's got to be.
yeah.
But my guess, by the end of next season, we will see Jamie put a knife in his sister and walk away with the kid. Off into the
I suspect
sunset.
he will give
yeah.
her one, yeah.
But he's walked away now, hopefully to find Bronn.
Well,
and
he's stropped off down the pub, really, hasn't he?
to find Bronn.
Yeah.
Apparently, I just heard this that the reason they buggered off to go for a beer, him and Pod, is because there's in Bronn's contract he's
How-
refusing to have a
how have
single
you
scene
only-
with.
Have you only just heard this? Jesus, years ago it
On a-
was.
Can I hear what
Was
it is,
it?
though?
What-
'Cause I haven't heard it.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Yeah, that basically he used to date Lena Headey, the character who plays Bronn, and he refuses to do any scenes with her. But it was just a rumor. But apparently this was like concrete proof of that
It's
because
in
they've not
contracts
been
and
in
stuff.
the. Is it really?
Yeah, they
oh, right.
had
well,
a really hostile breakup. Wow, now we've
Oh.
become loose women. Anyway,
yeah.
Wow.
Just get on
But yeah.
the Game of Thrones subreddit. It pops up kind of every few days, weeks. Somebody, I just found out that, yeah.
So when she does
I'm
that
not paying
kind
too
of
much
lip
attention to it.
curl in Snarl, it's because she could see him. And they just
She's just thinking about
and
him.
they reuse that take. Just like...
Yeah, maybe. Saving money.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts about Game of Thrones? I thought it was a great season, a bit brief.
I'm
but
thinking that all of the little bleating going on and everyone complaining about it is just one last way that the readers of the books can basically tell the people that watch the TV show, oh, it's not as good, look, it's jumping the shark, blah, 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 because they've got nothing else to complain about. Because
yeah, I mean,
the
the
books
thing is,
haven't finished. The show needs to go in a direction. I think it's doing what every show should do and basically up its game. And, going into the last quarter, really bring it. Too many shows just drop off by this point.
It's keeping people guessing.
I think they're just leaning into it. They've got no more book to go on, really. They've got a rough outline, and that's basically they're just hitting all the beats before they wrap it up and doing it in a really spectacular, bombastic style. Right? It's really kind of going out the way I hope it would. Really, shit's happening.
In
it's
a
awesome.
couple of years' time, we're going to be sitting here going, "Wow, if we thought the last series was fast-paced." I think it's going to be
probably.
Is it 7 episodes they're doing? I think it's 7.
The next one's
6.
6, but I know a lot of them are going to be sort of slightly longer, and I think it's just going to be absolute hit in the face constantly.
Yeah, I think they're all going to be like the length of the finale, at least, of this season.
Nice.
So, something to look forward to in 2019. Okay, moving on then. We've got a few other shows to talk about. You watched Top of the Lake, didn't you, Ian?
I did, Rob. Yes, thanks for asking. Also
starring Gwendolyn Christie, who I thought was really funny in it. Actually, she was her character.
Yeah, it was strange to see her not being being a human being. Basically, I know Brienne is human and flawed and stuff, but she's basically just a warrior.
Yeah.
And that's not the character Gwendolyn Christie plays in Top of the Lake season.
So what's that
about? Well, there was a first series, and it stars Elizabeth Moss, who's like, she was Peggy in Mad Men, and in this she was
also the daughter in West Wing.
She was, yes, before that, very young version. And so it's like the first one's set in New Zealand, and there's kind of a weird cloister of women that sort of live around this lake, and there's like some murders and stuff from what I remember. To be honest, it was a couple of years ago now.
I think the women are free spirits who want to explore themselves in a kind of hippie-ish. I think weird is not entirely the right thing to say there, my friend, but that's a word to use, yeah. Because they're different, they're weird. That's fine. But the first season was really, really good TV, produced and directed by Jane Campion, I believe.
Yeah, who's written loads of TV stuff before,
and visually it looked beautiful, really, really beautiful. And by Christ, it was dark, really horrifically dark. Whereas season 2 moves it to Australia, I believe. I'm fairly sure it does. And
it's Sydney, because around Bondi Beach area.
And it does. Again, there's murders and there's some darkness and some real, real dark stuff again. But it doesn't really feel like it's connected to the first one. It's got the same character in it, or some of the same characters in it. But I had a lot of trouble with it, to be honest. I thought it just felt a bit rushed. Not as fleshed out. The characters weren't as interesting, really, because they kind of... It felt like season 2 of Broadchurch, where okay. But it was just basically taking this really good idea and trying to milk it, and that's how I felt about season 2. Which is a shame, because they're all good performers and good actors and stuff.
Even Nicole Kidman's turned up.
It wasn't as good as the first one for me.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I know. I just don't really remember the first one too much. It couldn't have made that much of an impression on me. So I didn't mind the second one. I thought
Okay.
all the stuff with her estranged daughter was fun. Well, not fun, but interesting, and the way they
Jesus.
played that. And also the fact that Nicole Kidman turned up to play like
She
the
was very
least
good.
glamorous role
She
ever.
was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like she was doing him a favour by showing up. But no, I thought the whole thing with her daughter and the guy she was seeing, who was obviously a creep. Yeah, I thought that was played quite well. But yeah, cool. Oh, never mind then. Let's move on. The other notable show, I guess, is The Defenders. This is the team up thing, bringing together Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the ancient and amazing Iron Fist.
Oh yes,
The
the Iron Fister. Yeah,
immortal Iron Fist.
the
Yeah.
the inconceivable Iron Fist. That show.
Yeah, see,
it's
I-
not
The
what you think
whitewashed
it
Iron
means.
Fist.
Well, no, this comic always was. He always was a white guy, but there was an uproar because they could have cast someone of Asian descent and decided not to. So that was all a big.
So he was always a
Fuss
Caucasian in the
that-
comic.
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
I thought he was Asian descent in the comic. Or
No.
did I hear
Yeah,
wrong?
that's what. Yeah, the uproar from the internet would have you believe that, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Then.
As an
But,
aside,
yeah, that's-
sorry. As an aside, Ed Skrein, who played Darius in Game of Thrones and
Yep.
was in Transport
Oh, yeah.
Reloaded, he
Yeah.
was cast in Hellboy as an Asian character, and today he's resigned from Hellboy, saying that
Yeah.
it needs to be played by somebody from Asian who's from that area originally. So it's still a problem. It's still going on, but somebody reasonably well known has stepped up and said something publicly about it. So
Or
that's
step
good.
down.
Yeah, but
He
the
stepped
studio
up
are on
and
board
stepped
with it,
down.
and they're going to look at redoing it.
Well, it,
So are they actually going to honour that, or has
Well,
he just
he's
fallen on
walked
his
away.
sword?
No, no, he's walked away, and they're going to look
Yeah.
at the wording was really very good. I can't remember what he said, but it's just on a whitewashing note. That was all.
it was because his character's name was Ben something, and if you hear it, it doesn't sound like an Asian character per se.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to
And
be
he-
Japanese American.
He didn't know that his character had that origin, but the internet helpfully told him, I believe, and he took the action he thought was correct. So
Cool.
There we
No,
go.
I was just saying, like, it's all well and good him saying that, but will they actually cast someone of that descent? You know,
I don't think he's given him a lot of choice with the way.
I believe
he
he's
stepped
loaded that perfectly before he's left. So
Yeah.
oh, so there will be outrage if there isn't.
Well, it
right,
looks
okay,
very
fair
bad
enough.
for the studio. Very, very bad if they choose to ignore it
Yeah.
after that.
yeah,
And bearing in mind the
Yeah.
whole Ghost in the Shell thing, I'm not sure
Yeah,
they
well-
want that before this film's even finished. So
yeah, it didn't do that any favours, did it? Yeah, so Defenders, I had high hopes for this because I thought, well, all four of them are in it, and it's only 8 episodes, but I still found it really slow and dragging, and and really, I think I've just decided that it's like season 1.5 of Iron Fist, and the rest of them can't save it. To be honest,
was
I've
Sigourney
kind of
Weaver
given
any
up.
good?
yep,
she was
Sorry,
fine.
Yeah, I just
Sigourney
saying-
was fine.
Yeah, I was just saying
Okay.
I've basically given up on the whole Netflix Marvel thing for the minute.
Yeah,
none of it.
don't blame you.
I loved first season of Daredevil. That was great.
Yeah,
Since then, nothing has actually made me want to keep watching. I tried Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Smith. That'll do. Might be
Iron
better.
Iron Smith.
Don't know where that
Iron
came from.
Fist and his
I'd watch
brother
that.
Iron Smith.
Yeah, Iron Smith.
Yeah.
Well, well, you know, his surname isn't Smith. Yeah, Fist. It's Smith. So
Yeah, exactly.
we'll leave that. But yeah, none of it's done it for me. I'm not bothering.
to be honest, I watched it because I wanted to see more of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage because they seem like quite fun characters. Matt Murdock is still just later half of season 2 tortured Matt, which is kind of a bit boring. Get over it. But you're right, Rob. It seemed like series 1.5 of Iron Fist, series 2.5 of Daredevil, and with bits of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones thrown in. I think
Does
she
it feel
was
like
one of
they've
the
just
most
done a
fun.
collaboration because they wanted to do a collaboration.
But they never went big with it. That was the problem I had. After all of these kind of stories that took their own pacing, this was supposed to be the Avengers. I know they're supposed to be the anti-heroes, and they always joke about not wanting to be called heroes. But this was essentially meant to be their version of the Avengers, and it just seemed like, well, we saw big things in each of their series that were pretty cool. Didn't really massively stand out. It was okay, but it was better than Iron Fist. Iron Fist still remains the poorest Marvel thing ever to grace.
I think they should have done what they were going to do with Iron Fist, and because Netflix have been dabbling with like cinematic releases. They did like an IMAX thing with the Crouching Tiger film, which I heard was not very good, but they did it. And they often do like sort of the day of release, it will come out at the cinema and then be on, but you can watch it at home if you like. If they'd have gone that way with it, like sort of pulled the stops out a bit and made like a decent 2-hour movie out of it, it could have been all right, because there was only as much plot as would have fit in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
They don't actually all meet up until the end of episode 3.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Jesus.
bloody hell, like, come on.
Are they flitting around between that? Do you see all the different characters before then, and then they all get in the same room at the end of episode 3, or is it just fucking Iron
They
Smith
kind of
for the
team
first
up.
3 episodes?
They kind of team up and intersect in each other's world. So
Okay.
Matt
Yeah,
Murdock is the lawyer for Jessica Jones and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, they all kind of, they spend probably too long getting everyone to that point where, you know, I think they just wanted to kind of naturally have them all intersect, like all their storylines. But I mean, the Daredevil one is almost the Iron Fist one. He's involved with the Hand. Luke Cage isn't really so much, but yeah, I don't know.
Marcus,
yeah,
can I ask you a question? Sorry, Rob. You
right.
said you were going to watch it for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Did the Jessica side of it get satisfied? Without, I'm not wishing to sound pervy, but was she in it enough for you to go, yeah, I'm glad I watched that?
I think she had some of the better bits, the jokes in there. I'm not going. I mean, obviously you don't care, but there's a part where what's her name? Elektra. It's a spoiler. It's a spoiler for people watching it or not. It's been out for a while.
I think Netflix have already spoiled it for me.
Yeah, but Elektra returns and she's about to sort
They're
of.
all in it.
Yeah.
All of them.
Elektra
Apart from
returns from the
Fisk.
dead.
Sorry.
She's resurrected
And Punisher.
and is basically going to go and kill them all in a restaurant. And she's squaring. Jessica Jones has walked away beforehand, so I'm not getting involved. It's not my fight, which is true to her character. You know, she doesn't give a shit. But then she comes back, and then she just smacks a van through the window and takes and knocks her down. But then she gets up and she goes, "Miss me?" But then I thought, why didn't she just go around and break her neck there and then, because she was on the floor? She just walks around and joins the line, which made me think that they're going for cheese rather than the character's realistic attitudes.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I think honestly she's as out of place as she comes across in it, because the thing about Jessica Jones, the series that I think a lot of people liked about it was that it was not a conventional superhero thing.
Yeah.
And so she's in this, they're kind of crowbarring her into that.
Yeah.
So she is kind of not really left with much to do other than take the piss out of the rest of them.
Oh, yeah.
And
she massively
take
pulls her punches. Yeah, she massively pulls her punches. In fact, they're a bit inconsistent with her powers. From what I remember, some of the stuff that she was doing in the first one, she kind of would be a bit stronger or whatever. I don't know, but then there's a whole point in which they reference it where Stick, the guy who trains Elektra and all that, says to Luke Cage, he goes, if you and the other one stop pulling your punches, you'd really do some damage. So I think they kind of toned them all down. They all got nerfed, basically. Apart from Iron Fist, whose dickheadness remained in full, prominent, throbbing annoyance.
Iron Fist is just his character is just in a different show that I don't want to watch. I just want to watch the rest of them, really.
Is a show that I don't want to watch.
What?
Yeah.
Is it like the cast of EastEnders turning up in Game of Thrones or something?
You know what? If Iron Fist was played by Danny Dyer, I'd watch that.
Oh no, it's the fucking hand again.
It will be at least.
You
entertaining. You know, it would be like.
All right. Well, I
let's
think we've
move
spent
on.
enough time on
Yeah.
Defenders, so let's move on. Yeah, we've got Punisher next. That might be worth giving a look if you.
Yeah, that
We're
was it.
able to
If you
stick
guys do
with,
have Netflix, fast
Daredevil.
forward to the end of the last episode, and there's a trailer for Punisher.
Oh, is there? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
There's a little sort of post credits bit for the Punisher
I
stuff.
think they might have put that on YouTube by now. So yeah. Still on a comic book tip. Preacher, you've been watching that, haven't you, Will?
I
Are
have
you up
been
to date?
all over. Mostly up to date. Watched episode 10 this morning. I was running a little behind. I don't know if that was the series finale or I don't think it was.
No, I think
there's
we've
more
got-
to go.
Yeah,
So,
I think
up
it's
to episode
13.
10, where he's sorry about spoilers, but where he's just met Jesus, and that's just magnificent.
Or as he likes
So
to be
any-
known, Hoppadoo.
Yes. So I have to say, Preacher is my genuine favourite thing at the moment. I'm enjoying Game of Thrones, but it hasn't made me laugh nearly as much as Preacher. It's
They have nailed the humour from the comics. Absolutely.
It's fantastically absurd, and they're just the way the series. Today's episode that I watched, episode 10, started with the sex scene between like the original Jesus and Mary Magdalene, showing the conception.
Yeah.
It's so utterly irreverent.
I like the geographical accuracy of their accents and stuff.
when Jesus turns
and
around
the
to Mary
dialect.
Magdalene and goes, "Hey, be cool. It's cool."
Yeah.
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 Okay, bro. Yeah. Oh,
don't
it's so
care.
good.
It's lovely. Preacher is, if anyone who hasn't watched it, I beg you, it's all there on Amazon Prime. It's well worth it. If you don't want to do Amazon Prime, I think you can get the series 1 on DVD for about a tenner. It's just magnificent. It's some of the funniest, best written, most entertaining stuff I've watched in the last couple of years.
Yeah, my only complaint really with this season is I found the Cassidy and Tulip stuff a little bit slow.
Yeah.
But the stuff that they've
I'm quite
introduced,
enjoying Dennis at the
Hair
moment.
Yeah, he's cool. Well, he just spends a long time not doing much and just sort of wanting to die.
If you look at the first series of Preacher, though, there are all these little trails they lay down that then paid off later on. So I think we're going to get some payback from some of the slowness, perhaps. I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, you see, they've done a really good job with Hair Star. The guy who's playing him, I
he's
forget
brilliant.
his name, but he's
Kit
really
Torrens.
brilliantly cast. Yeah, that's right. And just they haven't done it exactly the same. Have you read the graphic novels, Will?
No, I haven't. What I'm probably going to do is let the TV series see itself out and then read them, rather than confusing myself and tying in the plot. In a couple of years' time, when Preacher's done or whatever, I'm going to pick it up because it's just happily do it.
Yeah, the thing is they're kind of just. I think I said this a few weeks back, but they're definitely hitting stuff, but it's not in the same order at all. And you know, it reminds me of the comic enough, and so I didn't want to go back to it immediately either. But I'm glad that it's working on you in the same way that as the comic has, because what it's like, that's how I felt about the comic when I read it. What you were just saying then. But the stuff with Hair Star is excellent, like the missing puzzle piece. Like with the whole no means yes scenario.
Oh,
it was
yes.
Did you? I like the bit
that is a whole thing in the comics. Like that is a whole thing about him going, "I'm not a homosexual," but it's just like he is.
When he's explaining to Jesse Custer how he was roughly sodomised by 3 men who wouldn't take no for an answer, and while that was happening, I thought of you, Preacher.
and he
I'm thinking of you.
He pauses, and then you see Jesse just look like, what?
He's actually
just
probably my
such a-
favourite character so far. Preacher can really do a bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good, definitely for sure.
I just loved a couple of episodes back where you saw his ascension through the ranks. It was basically like,
That was
it's
beautiful.
like, oh, there are now
What are you
2 of
doing?
you left. What do you?
I am self-consummating.
Oh, it's so funny. I love it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job so far, but without going into too much detail. I just wanted to quickly mention one more show, or and maybe a couple more. But I do want to mention The Leftovers, which I finished watching. I'm guessing you still haven't finished 3 yet?
No, I'm having a bit of trouble getting back into it. I need to watch season 2 again to figure out what the fuck is going on. Yeah.
So The Leftovers, is that the one where half the population's vanished or something? Is that the one
It's only like 5% or something. It's a very small amount, really. But
yeah,
it's drama for the families left behind, for the people left behind. So
yeah, there's like it's quite odd. There's like a sheriff and kind of focuses on him and his family, and this other woman who lost all of her family. And the cop guy, his wife has basically gone into this place called the Guilty Remnant, they call it, the GR, and they just wear white and smoke cigarettes and kind of stand around kind of trying to remind people that they can't be happy because all these people
they also don't talk, do they?
That's it.
They only write
everything down. That's right, yeah.
As TV, it's just bizarre, but it's really good. Really, really well done.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the second series kind of transplants the entire thing to this other location, which I won't go into too much detail on because that's a whole thing. But yeah, they did the third and final season like earlier this year, and I thought they capped it off really nicely, and it all kind of sort of it just kind of ended really nicely, and yeah, might have had a bit of a moist eye at the end of that. Like I was just, it was really quite touching.
Hay fever.
So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that damn hay fever. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth picking up. They had it all on Now TV, so I kind of binged it while it was available. Yeah, so definitely recommend that if you get a chance.
Okay.
Anyone got any other shows to mention? That's kind of what I've been watching mostly.
I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but we probably did in the last podcast, but I'm still working my way through Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I had a little renaissance of that, and we're on season 3 now.
Actually, my wife has said to me, we've run out of something to watch together that we get on with. We've been, sort of doing Elementary and Death in Paradise and stuff, and she said, I'd watch Buffy and Angel again. So I've been checking all of the things I subscribe to don't have it, so I might drop a few quid at some point on the Buffy DVD box set, because it's got to be done.
Yeah, stay away from the HD one. That's it. Go for the original DVDs, not the HD re-release.
Why would that be?
Why is that?
Fox did a terrible job. It was originally shot in 4:3 frames. Well, not frames, but 4:3 ratio. The normal square box. Joss Whedon shot it like that. They've extended it, so some parts are actually cropped as a result of that. And
so they've taken chunks off. Lovely.
Yeah, the HD conversion's a bit bad as well, and there's some bits that are kind of a little bit messy. There's a whole string of stuff that's wrong with it.
So I want to go for straight DVD.
Rather, go for a normal DVD box set, probably about 30 quid, because it's still really popular on Amazon. But you might be able to find it. You might be able to find it in a second-hand store for less.
That works.
Yeah, HMV have it for 65. Oh no, here we go. Zavvi have got it for 30 quid. There you go.
Zavvi or Amazon have got it for about 30.
Oh, but it's sold out, so I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm just going to keep an eye out. It'll appear. Yeah. I'm not in a rush, but I'll get Buffy, I'll get Angel, and quite frankly, I can stay on a shelf, and in another 10 years' time, I'll watch them again.
Well, it's just that they had their 20th anniversary, and I saw a picture where they got all the cast together, and it kind of reminded me of the Friends anniversary, where they kind of saw as they are now, and it kind of we just thought, well, we should watch that again, so we just started watching them, and I think in the last 3 weeks, we've done about a season a week or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of Buffy. But
I did just want to mention one more show that I started watching this week called Ozark. It's just showed up on Netflix, and I'm about halfway through it. And it's Jason Bateman, and he's like, it basically starts at like season 4 of Breaking Bad. He's like a money launderer, and his mate's been skimming a bit off the top, so he ends up having to flee to this. This sort of lake district type sort of area, and so he then starts approaching all these like strip joints and like restaurants and things, trying to basically he's got to push like 8 million through all these businesses.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, when you say
before, like,
Lake Districts, are we talking like the Lake District in Middle England, and he's pushing money through strip joints? I'm just a little confused on that.
no, it's a bit more like it's like sort of Carolina area maybe. It's like
The American Lake
It's-
District, right?
it's like the American Lake District. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone goes around on boats. There's a vicar there that performs sermons in the lake and stuff. But anyway, like there's that going on. But obviously, yeah, that sounds completely simple. But of course, like there's other illicit things going on, and there's like a hillbilly family that he gets involved with quite early on, and who he has to kind of work with. So it's kind of like Justified, but shot a lot nicer. It's kind of got that sort of overcast Scandi noir look to it, and he's a very compelling main character, Jason Bateman. Normally he does comedy, so it's cool seeing him in a serious role.
He's done other serious stuff though, hasn't he?
I think so, but I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah.
But Laura Linney, she's his wife, and
nice.
they have quite a fascinating relationship. There's a lot more hate in it than I think there ever was in Skylar and Walt. To be honest, it's a little bit more like blatant.
Real. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I honestly think it's worth a shot. Give the first episode or two a go, both of which were directed by Bateman as well. And yeah, I've been quite enjoying it. They're quite long episodes. They're like a full hour, but they've been holding my attention.
Okay.
I'm kind of in the middle of one right now, actually. So I'll be finishing that off when I finish doing this. So yeah, that's well worth checking out. And the only other thing I wanted to mention, just because of the strange coincidence of it, is the League of Gentlemen. I only passingly watched it when it was first on.
Oh,
So
I've seen it all.
I have now, but because it was all on Netflix, so I've just been watching it on my lunch breaks and stuff. It's excellent. Hello, Dave. All that
What about
stuff.
some pigs, Dave?
Yeah, you're my wife now. It's excellent. So many cool lines. Yeah, literally the day that I finished watching the final episode of season 3, they announced that they're going to do 3 more coming to the BBC later this year.
Just because of
So,
you, mate, you tipped him over the edge.
I know, I can believe it.
It's good work. It's good
Yeah.
work.
Same thing happened actually when the Black Mirror trailer dropped. I was out for lunch on Friday, and for some reason the conversation got round to Black Mirror, and I said, yeah, we're getting more of that this year. And then I looked at my bloody Facebook thing, and someone had posted up the trailer for it.
Rob, can you
It's
do me
like,
a favour?
whoa!
Can you start
What's
watching
that?
Buffy again, please?
And Firefly.
So they make more of it. So they make, Firefly.
Oh, Firefly. Yeah, go back and watch Firefly. Good call.
Yeah, I'm tuned into the Matrix. I think I saw something about Firefly actually the other day, that they really might be bringing it back. Just ignored it,
I
obviously.
see something like that most
Yeah.
months. Joss
Well,
Whedon
Fox
says
are-
he'd like to,
Fox-
but he won't.
Are wanting to do a reboot, and that's the direction they're going with. They're trying to shake off all of the old people involved with it, and they're going for
You know
a
what?
reboot.
That's not the worst idea in the world.
If they're going to announce something like that, it's going to be at Comic-Con, and like the ground will shake from the leaping fans going crazy.
From Rage, probably.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Speaking of people raging about things they once loved,
yeah.
I took it upon myself to watch the first episode of the Mist TV series, which is currently available on Netflix in the UK.
Oh yeah.
I think
I heard
it
about
might
this.
be on Amazon. It's on one of them. I'm fairly sure it's
No, it's on Netflix. I
Netflix.
think. Yeah.
This is a production created and developed by Spike, which I believe to be a TV station in the United States of America. They've
There's a
done
Spike
some
channel
other.
on Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah, Spike. Yeah.
yeah, okay. They've done some other stuff. They did like the zombie cop thing or the cop parody thing. I think.
R.I.P.D. or something like that.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
the one you
something-
mean.
Yeah, I don't think it was that. I think it was. Yeah, it was very good. I'm a massive fan of the film The Mist. Not read the story, but the ending is just one of the bleakest places you can go.
Yeah.
And after I've watched that, I frequently look like a haunted oven. Yeah, it's a dark place. It takes you to a dark place. The TV show didn't get to the end of the first episode, I'm afraid. So I'll leave it to somebody else to get to the end and see if it does any good things. Did read some comments on Facebook from a friend of mine who's got taste and likes that kind of thing, and was bitterly disappointed. They appear to have misfired with the whole mist side of it. Probably for
Misfired, perhaps.
Or maybe they simply missed.
Oh, you're
Sorry.
good. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that one. That's just beautiful.
Sorry, I missed it. Was it? What was it?
It was misfired.
No, sorry, I missed it again.
I see what you're doing there. It's too soon. It's too soon.
Oh dear.
Yeah, which is a shame, because the film was very good. I think everybody who's seen that would agree. Yeah, so stay away from that, or have a look and let us know what you think in the comments.
It's just going to be one of those things where I take another one for the team and end up watching. I seem to be like the danger man or the stunt man for the podcast. where sensible podcasters feel
they're going to make another Pirates movie. Did you see that?
Oh God, no!
No, they're not.
Like a moth to a flame. He'll be there on day one.
Yeah.
Queuing.
This one will be
Pirates of the
different.
Caribbean 9.
It might be good. It might be. There's a chance it might be good.
I don't know. It's going to be like a bit in Kill Bill. I'm going to be sitting there and that siren's going to go off. Anyway.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
I'm glad you said that, because I was toying with the idea of watching that, but we've kind of put it off because we've been watching.
Give it a go. Give it a go. There were other things I wanted to watch.
We've only got another 4 more seasons of Buffy to get through. We won't bother with Angel. I watched it. It's quite bleak. But,
I enjoyed Angel. Angel was
thought
good.
Angel was okay, but it was bleak. God, it was bleak. Fred was amazing.
It was darker, but there was some humour there.
Yeah.
You know, between them, I liked it, and also I always loved Cordelia.
Was it?
Cordelia.
Charisma Christmas
Carpenter.
or something like that? Charisma Carpenter.
Yeah.
I
know. Yeah.
Oh dear.
I've
I was
known
more
Fred
of
for
a
a while
Fred.
now.
I was more of a
Deposit in the
Fred
bank,
fan,
and we'll move on.
Anyway, yeah.
Right, any more TV?
Just even more quickly than that, Taskmaster on the UK TV Play network. It's on their
It's on
streaming
Dave,
website.
and it's coming back on the 13th of September, and I know
New series
that, and
coming
I'm
up very
excited.
soon. If you've not seen the previous ones, I watched some of them over the weekend while I was doing a bit of work, and they're just fucking hilarious. It's basically 6 comedians doing whatever they want for whatever laughs they want, playing really silly puzzle games. With Greg Davis as the Taskmaster himself.
Although the real genius
it is
behind
hilarious.
The real genius behind it is actually the
Alex
assistant,
Horn.
Alex Horn, who actually has written and designed the whole thing. But
Yes.
he gets to sit behind it. But yeah, I've been watching it for a long time. I completely agree. It's brilliant. It's one of the only comedies that actually, most episodes at some point, leaves me unable to breathe because I'm laughing so hard. I love it.
I have pulled muscles in my chest from laughing at it over the weekend. Just terrific. And I've seen it all before, so that's how good it is. So, yeah, worth a look. Anyway.
This has been the Not Watching Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself, Marcus and Ian talk about video games and virtual reality on the Not Playing Podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening Podcast. You can email us at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya!
Okey dokey, pig in the pokey. Can I just issue a quick apology to people listening, because I've just realised I've done something awful. What's
that?
Well, I've been sitting here drinking and vaping and stuff, and you guys can't hear it because I mute it. But what I've been doing is muting the Skype chat and not the audio that's being recorded locally on my laptop, which is what's going to go out in the podcast. So I'll just apologise now, and I've switched mute buttons.
That's all right.
I'm a bad
Rob enjoys editing. It's fine.
So, what does that mean for me? Does that mean I've got your voice or I haven't got your voice?
No, you've got my voice, but you've also got the sound of like me swigging beer and vaping and stuff. So it's more to the poor sod. It's nothing for you, Rob.
That's
the poor
normal.
sods listening. Oh, I know. It's just I'm a bad person.
Oh, okay.
It's all right.
Some poor muting then. Fine. Never mind.
So lovely.